Oh, yeah, you won.
What is that?
Let's just say I have grown fond of office supplies. And if you ever need a different color highlighter,
Those are
you have,
highlighters?
yeah, different color.
How long do they last, though?
They've already done one
When they go
use.
cool.
I got this yesterday and I was so excited because I was like, yes, I'm going through highlighters. This will be the coolest thing. Yeah, what? It's 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's already worn out.
Dude, the way you're sitting on the camera it makes you look so tiny.
I
You got all
know.
this room above you.
Hold on really quick. Welcome to the wonderful world of live. All right, now we're good.
It was like Lord of the Rings, that forced perspective.
I know. It's like, wait, what's going on? And now I'm like falling.
Just kind of leaning.
I'm off to the side. So that's what happens when you got a little one running around the studio, man. He's like, oh, what's this doing? Just
touching everything.
Oh, I know. He's like, hey, you mean to tell me that I could see myself in this? Let's touch it. Oh,
At least there's not
great.
a big,
So
like, snotty fingerprint right on the lens.
no, but it's all over the screen. I'll tell you that. I could see where my son has been in each studio by the handprint. And so I'll be cleaning studios later today because of that.
You guys
Welcome
don't have a
everybody.
cleaning crew?
Oh yeah, we do. We do mornings, 6 to 10 on Hot 103. No, just oh my gosh. Yeah, don't tell her I said that, okay? Because she'll be mad. Yeah, get me in trouble. Welcome everybody to Zia Comic Weekly. We get ready to nerd out for the next half hour, and lots to happen this week. Lots to happen since last night. What's going on, Troy?
Yeah, you know, it's
Just
another day.
being the social butterflies that we are. I mean,
no, just because I'm there doesn't mean I'm social.
let me tell you, man. Seeing each other last night, we're just like, wait, you're out of the house? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, me too. Like,
It was like me and Jackie doing that Spider-Man memes. Oh.
By the way, that was my shirt last night.
I
Everybody
know,
thought
I
I was.
loved it.
By the way, Martine asked me, he's like, hey, what are you wearing to this thing? And I said, Spider-Man. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm wearing Spider-Man. He didn't get it. And then finally he's like, oh, you didn't say it was that shirt. I was like, yeah. So I didn't know if I had to give more explanation to that.
Was he going to try to coordinate with what you were wearing?
I don't
Like
know.
high school?
Troy, I really thought about telling him, dude, it's a formal wear to see if he would show up dressed up in his suit. I was really contemplating telling him, like, dude, you got to rent a tux and everything.
I did that to a guy when I worked out at NASA because it was 24/7. We worked Halloween, and we told her, so yeah, everybody's going to dress up on Halloween, man. And I completely forgot about it. We had a week off. He showed up just like a big pumpkin. Where's your guys' costumes? What are you talking about?
He's like, dude, no, we need to get to work. Oh, that's got to be horrible though, because you got to go through your whole day dressed up as a pumpkin. So
Yeah, it was night shift. You know, it was mids, but still, he had to sit there on console in a pumpkin outfit all night.
oh my gosh, it's like, hey, so do you turn back into something at the end of the night, or what happens here?
It was funny until about 3 a.m. Then everybody gets tired and just don't care.
Right. Then it's now you're just mad at a pumpkin for no reason. Oh my gosh. So lots been going on. Troy, I heard you got a chance to see the Dungeons and Dragons. What'd you think?
It was good. I broke my rule of not going to the theater, but we were doing the whole Las Cruces Film Festival thing yesterday. They had one event at Hotel E at like 5 or something, and that was over quick. And I'm like, oh, so what do we do for like 3.5 hours now? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what movies are playing? I guess we'll watch a movie. But it wasn't
Good choice,
bad.
though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't think it's as good as what the hype was saying, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. So
If
I mean, the
you,
hype had us really thinking that it was like
yeah,
movie of the year, but I mean, it
no,
still seems like a movie that's going to gravitate people to go watch.
I think they'll make a sequel. I mean, it was good enough to have a sequel, but I wouldn't put it in movie of the year. Um, it's a Hasbro title, so of course, if it made money, they'll make another one.
Yeah.
So that's going to open the door for maybe we'll have a Magic the Gathering movie now. Maybe uh, Hasbro owns lots of titles, lots of IPs. So
Yeah, and, you said that I mean, so was it like what we were talking about? Is it like one big adventure that can lead to,
it was like, yeah,
maybe perhaps another new adventure?
it was kind of like watching somebody play through a campaign, especially if
Okay.
you have any knowledge of D&D, because there's so many little D&D references hidden through there, whether it be, the different creatures and stuff like that, or even the map when they're talking about what cities they're going to. Those are all actual D&D cities. So for D&D nerds, it's probably orgasmic. But
They were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they said that."
every time they mention like Neverwinter and Sword Coast. Every time they did, I'd look over at my wife, and she just like, nothing, nothing.
Nothing, but,
That's a
the
freaking owlbear. Don't you see the owlbear?
But the great thing about this, I think this also brings in a fan, an audience that may not know these characters, that now leaving the movie, they'll go and check this out because, like you said, there's so many other layers to Dungeons and Dragons that the
Yeah.
casual viewer is now going to want to go and see. Like, okay, well, what is that reference? So I think it did its purpose, and you're gonna have more fans that maybe were just there to see the movie, to see Chris Pine.
And he has good comedic chops. He did pretty good. And Michelle Rodriguez, um, she was Michelle Rodriguez. I mean, she doesn't do comedy real well. So she played the warrior, the straight jokes go over her head type character. And she did
So you're
okay, but Chris Pine carried it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only type of movies that she could do lately is movies that involve family. So after that, I was like, it was gonna be interesting to see her in something different other than a movie that she's drag racing a car or go into space. So
Or flying a helicopter with blue cat people.
right, something different, right? So we're like, wait, now she's in Dungeons and Dragons. It looks great. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I wanted to go see it, but movie that I actually got a chance to go see, and I got to go see this on Monday. Super Mario Brothers.
I've heard good things.
This is a movie, and I've heard it all week. The critics have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, you see the Rotten Score tomatoes. I think they had it like at 45%, the critics, and then you have an audience that has it like at a 96%. So, I mean, critics, what did you watch? Or, I mean, did you really go in to like try to really destroy this movie or bash this movie? Or did you have beef with the Mario Brothers? What's going on?
They seem to always look for all these underlying things. Oh, it's not Shakespeare. No, but sometimes I just want to go and be entertained, man. It doesn't have to make sense. It can have glaring plot holes as long as it entertains me.
One of the great things about this, and obviously us, growing up and playing, Nintendo, there's so many amazing references to this movie. I mean, obviously us old heads that remember like, playing, the old GameCube or,
Oh,
little sounders or just stuff like that from back in the 90s, even the 80s, you're going to appreciate this movie. The kiddos, my son, we took him to go watch it, and let's just say he's a Jack Black fan now.
yeah. I mean, I know they said they hit a lot of Easter eggs, both visual and audio, and it's amazing how just a little sound can snap you back to the '80s when you hear it.
Oh, man. It's crazy because there was like, and then like obviously you're watching it, so you can't go back. That's the one thing I hate, Troy, and I'm with you on this, man. Because I think if I could go back to catch that, I was like, wait, was that the sounder, or was that the voice of the original Mario, or did I just hear a Yoshi, or what the heck is going on? There's so many things that you got to really pay attention to, and the kids also get to have fun with it as well.
Well, maybe we'll get a parallel Super Mario World with Pedro Pascal from Saturday Night Live. That's the dark one I want to see.
So with Pedro, there's now talks, and Jack Black is now going to bat for him to have him
Yeah,
play Wario in the
yeah,
sequel. So,
I'm down for that.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, I think he pretty much did he did his practice run for this movie. So come on, Pedro. I mean, you got to get him in this movie, but did not anticipate, Troy, for it to break animated records. I did not
Yeah,
expect that.
yeah. I mean, it broke records for what the highest opening weekend for a video game based movie.
Yeah.
So, and that's saying a lot because there's been quite a few.
You know, Illumination Studios does a really good job. Obviously, they're the ones behind the Minions,
Minions. Illumination.
but how the beginning, it's just yeah. You guys got to go watch this movie. If you love the Super Mario Brothers, you're definitely gonna enjoy this movie. No spoilers. There was a lot going on, but a lot for people to enjoy. So, and I'll just say Seth Rogen, I can't get over his laugh. Seriously, every time he laughed, I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I picturing Pineapple Express right now?
It's
Like
Seth Rogen playing Seth Rogen. That's the only character he knows.
exactly, and but it works
But
very well.
it freaking works.
It does. Charlie Day as well. I mean, there's so many voices on there that you're like going to IMDb at the end of the movie, like, wait, I think I heard. Yeah, I did. Okay, well, now so
Speaking of Jack Black, he's starting to pop up everywhere too. He was just on The Mandalorian.
that's right.
Yeah.
It was him and Lizzo. They
Lizzo
made an appearance.
and Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd was on there.
He went from a
Ah.
DeLorean to the Mandalorian. Ah,
Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all week. He will be here all week. So
don't
if you
forget to tip
guys,
your waiter.
that's right, tip your waiters. He'll be here all week.
Try the fish.
Gotta ask you, because I did see a lot of people were upset about Lizzo and Jack Black being in there. Was it really worth all that anger that people had online?
No, it's first of all, it's Star Wars fans, and it doesn't take much to get them all riled up over nothing.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't. It was kind of a filler episode. I mean, it didn't really advance the plot at
Mhm.
all, but it was still a good episode, man. I was like I said, I don't go in there looking for Shakespeare. I go in to be entertained. I want to see the
Yeah.
characters I like, and these two new characters that Jack Black and Lizzo brought in are they're pretty comical. I like them.
I mean, that's what you look for, man. I mean, we understand. I mean, we know where they stand as far as, what they do. Lizzo, of course, right now, big singer right now. I mean, just blowing up on the charts. Jack Black gonna probably be doing the same thing with that Peaches song because I can't go anywhere now. I mean, you'll probably hear it on Hot 103 soon. But I mean but it's nice. And then, have Christopher Lloyd, make a cameo appearance as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we look for, man. I mean, we've seen even on the Mandalorian series, let alone there's been so many other cameo appearances that I've enjoyed. We saw Sasha Banks, WWE wrestler who made an appearance.
Hmm.
There's just Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, there's just so many people that make these appearances that ultimately, like you said, it was a filler, but it's also nice to see something different.
Have you seen the newest episode of Mandalorian?
Not yet. I
Oh,
did catch up though. I'm on episode 3. So I'm
Giancarlo's
slowly
back in a big way.
yeah, so
Big, and he's going to be. Are you going to be at the VIP thing tonight for the film festival? I
yes,
think
sir.
he's supposed to be there.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this is his night for the Empire.
For the Empire. I gotta go take a nap though after this, by the way, because we
It-
can't we can't I'm not in my 20s anymore, man.
that recovery is not quite as quick as it used to be.
It really isn't. Because trust me, I was like, "Hey guys, we need to sit down because my feet hurt." Like, I've gotten to that age where it's like, "Hey guys, my feet hurt. We need to sit down." Okay, cool, we'll sit down.
That
So,
was like 5
but
minutes after you got there.
dude, I tell you, man, it was a long day yesterday.
That's
So,
why,
there's a
yeah,
lot
I'm leaving. Bye.
yeah, we kind of followed your lead. We saw you were like, "Well, he's leaving. Why can't we go?" So we're gonna
Why
leave
do we
too.
have to stay? We
I was like, "What
already
do you gotta
ate.
say?" I was like, "But I'm gonna get some to go. Can we take some to go and get out of here?"
Start bringing your own little doggy bag, an old Walmart bag, and
Oh, don't think that I won't have a backpack tonight.
are you going to finish that?
I said, "Hey, Giancarlo," he said, "What do you really think of the cheesecake? You don't like it, do you?
Yeah,
Go ahead."
just eat off his
Oh,
plate.
let's
He
just
doesn't
say
mind.
I figured out my way not to be ever invited back again. It's like, did this guy really say Giancarlo's dessert? And then as I'm being dragged out for the Empire.
If you're
Uh,
wondering if you can trust me, you can't.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I hope I hope they realize we're joking. So if they see this, we're just kidding. So uh big news yesterday. HBO Max is going away finally.
Well,
And
this is going
what
to be the max.
Yes, the max. We're taking it to the max. HBO Max is officially going to merge their other streaming services that they purchased. The Max, what's not called the Max, it's just called Max, by the way, just so y'all know. But they're just dropping HBO. And next month you will see the switch from HBO Max to Max. And they did announce quite a few things that are going to be coming with the new streaming service and things to look forward to. One of the things that you and I had talked about, and it seems like a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of projects that had been kind of shelved,
Mhm.
from, different, sequels to, original cartoon series to just a bunch of stuff that was supposed to originally come out. Are we going to see these things come to light with the new streaming service?
The biggest thing I saw was they're pushing a lot of Discovery stuff over on
Yeah.
there because
So,
that's what I'm was. Hey, I want to see Meerkats at 3 a.m.
hey, meerkats. I mean, if you having trouble sleep, you know how they say count sheep, you can count meerkats with Discovery Plus. So one of the things that they mentioned, looking right now, new Harry Potter franchise. They're looking at turning it into a TV series.
Right.
Uh, Game of Thrones, another prequel from Game of Thrones, as well as some other spinoffs of some other popular shows like The Big Bang Theory, and also a series based on The Conjuring.
I didn't hear about the
So
Conjuring one. That's interesting.
yeah, they're gonna say it's based in that universe, and it says for what we know right now, it says it's gonna continue a story of an established featured film. That's all they're saying right now. So is take that news with whatever you can with it. And also Robert Downey Jr.'s got a thing that's gonna be on there in 2024 called The Sympathizer. So,
Yeah, the
we'll
Harry Potter thing. I know Harry Potter is still really hot, but I don't know how much that's cooled off with J.K. Rowling uh, being controversial. If that's going to have any effect on it.
I
So
don't know. I'm noticing though Harry Potter right now. So, I mean, basically on a Saturday, if you want something in the background, there's gonna be a TV channel that's playing a Harry Potter movie. And I'm wondering if these networks aren't trying to get their money's worth before it gets taken off of, their licensing ends, and then it's gonna be exclusive to HBO Max. So I'm wondering if they're just like, "Hey, let's get our money's worth and then we're done."
well, those are schedule killers. They're all long movies. So
Yeah, they are, man. Uh,
then you add commercials on top of that.
you're gonna be 16 hours there watching the first Harry Potter movie. You'll never leave. Our comic book nerds out there, Colin Farrell's Penguin series. They're gonna have a spin-off series from the Batman, which will
Mhm.
be on the Max. I won't keep wanting to call it HBO Max. So, yeah, and then, of course, a Game of Thrones prequel called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. So, yeah, definitely quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can have too much of a good thing. You don't want to saturate the market with Game of Thrones stuff. Leave people wanting more instead of just drowning them in content.
Yeah, and, I mean, especially with this last thing that they had, it did very well.
Right.
So, I really think for this and even with DC, they just gotta find the right timeline to put these things on HBO Max. I mean, the Max, and
Or
that way we
Max.
can enjoy or Max or I man, it's gonna take some time to get used to. But no, I mean, and I think HBO has the platform, and you and I were saying, I think DC has an opportunity with this big change to really roll out and do a lot of stuff with the characters that they have. I mean, this will be pretty cool to see Colin Farrell's series kind of based on just his character.
Yeah, I mean, DC needs to get away from the Trinity. Everything's always centered around those three characters. Penguin's still kind of connected to Batman, but it's separate. Let's see how they work out. That's because Marvel's done a great job of bringing their B and C list characters up into prominence, and DC just hasn't tried it. Man, it's like, no, we're gonna give you another Batman movie.
And I think, like you mentioned, Marvel, I really did not think we were going to get another Captain America movie. I think they let Falcon and the Winter Soldier really speak volumes because I think that was their test run to say, hey, can we make another Captain America movie, or do we just continue the TV series route? And it works out. So I think this could work for us to eventually get a Penguin type movie similar to like what we're getting with the Joker. I mean, the Joker movie, the sequel is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, the villains all have compelling stories too, because You could go with the Penguin. The Riddler had a really good run in the comics there for a while, where he took over Gotham. The Rogues Gallery, besides like Kite Man and Condiment King, uh, he has a decent Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. You know what? Maybe it is. It's that DC has really great villains, and we maybe, like you said, maybe we need to break away from the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and explore the villains just a little bit.
They could even do some comedy, man. Like I said, you could use Kite Man or Condiment King and make a comedy series.
There you go. Pete Davidson ain't doing much these days. Bring him back.
He's busy with women. That guy is he's a rotating door of famous women.
Yeah, I mean, where is he going to have time, right?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So back on the Marvel side of things, yesterday, or was it earlier this week, they released our first trailer to The Marvels.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I I I don't mind it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a blockbuster because there's too many Brie Larson haters out there.
Yeah, I don't know what she done.
But I
Yeah.
liked Captain Marvel. And Monica Rambeau, Photon, I'm kind of indifferent towards that character. But Ms. Marvel, I like her in the comics. Her series was kind of geared more toward the younger crowd. Still wasn't a bad series. So I think it's probably not a bad idea throwing these characters that are uh, having trouble carrying a movie or series by themselves, throw them all together. Maybe that'll boost all of them.
Mhm.
But it's an interesting concept. And you got Samuel Jackson in the trailer, so
Yeah, I mean, that's you can't go wrong with Samuel L. Jackson. I was watching this trailer yesterday, and the one thing that I thought about was, how with the Thor franchise, how there was this kind of switch when they got to the third one where there was just a little bit of a different tone to the movie. I'm wondering if they're not trying to do that with this movie to kind of break away from, I guess, change kind of the concept of it to whether it's more comedic relief, because it seems like there's a lot of comedic relief in this movie.
well, Ms. Marvel in the comics, Kamala Khan, it is pretty comedic. I mean, she's a huge stan. She's a fangirl for Captain Marvel, and a lot of times in the comics, when she would meet these other famous superheroes, she would fangirl out and get like their phone out and take pictures and selfies with Wolverine in the background.
Selfies. Wolverine's right now currently fighting, and hi.
There was a scene of that where she's like selfie with him fighting in the background.
I think it's great, and then obviously the cat makes an appearance, so that's great.
The flirking.
We need a reunion between Samuel L. Jackson and
He's only got one more eye to lose, though.
he was like, "Hey, you owe me an eye." So, oh man, so yeah, that movie is set to come out later this year. Looks great. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of a Marvel break, but still, like, I mean, I think it's give it a little bit of time, and then we'll be ready to go. Guardians comes out next month, so that one I think we're gonna have to emotionally prepare ourselves for. So when that one comes out, a lot of tears.
They're keeping it under wraps pretty well about who's going to kick it. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if James Gunn maybe filmed multiple endings, so even the actors don't know. So
that's true.
they've done that
So
before, so even the actors don't know who's really going to die.
and they kept Tom Holland the hell away from that movie, so he doesn't give any spoilers too.
Him and Mark Ruffalo, man, they can't stop.
Man, one series that I saw yesterday, Jeremy Renner on Disney Plus has a renovation. He has his own renovation show now. It was a pretty cool concept. So I didn't know the dude was a musician.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I
Not
was like,
much of a
Hawkeye.
snowplow driver, but
We know that part. Hawkeye, though, on the other hand, apparently is really good on the piano. So yeah, y'all can check that out. So it's different. It's a different tone for him. But how crazy though, with all this after what happened to him, and he's still out doing press for this Disney Plus show. Like I would have been like, bro, I'm phoning it in. I'm zooming from home.
yeah, I'm done. I
Yeah,
don't need to
no.
act anymore.
So Stranger Things. We haven't talked about Stranger Things in a while, and it looks like we might be getting some more variations of Stranger Things as it was announced that there is going to be an animated series in the works for Stranger Things. So, thoughts on Stranger Things taking a different approach? And I'm assuming this is after we're done with the live action version.
Yeah, I think they have one more season for the live action. And I don't know if you noticed on this last one, the kids are getting a little older.
Yeah.
In fact, Millie Bobby Brown, I think, just got married.
Yeah.
So
Engaged. She just got engaged,
engaged.
which
Yeah,
still throws me off though, because I'm like, you're 10, but she's not. She's 20 something.
you can't marry 11.
I know. It's like, it's just weird though, right? Because you're like,
Yeah,
wait, you're engaged, but yet you play a 13-year-old. How does this work?
yeah. They had a hard time hiding it in this last one because she's starting to fill out as a
Yeah.
woman. I mean, it's kind
You
of
could
hard
just
to hide the curves.
I mean, and just all the characters. I mean, not the voice. The voice has changed
Yeah,
on all of them, so it's hard to try to capture the innocent kid voice when they got a deep voice,
and some of those kids are like 6 foot tall now.
right? It's like, okay, you're bigger than the villain. What's going on here? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, so
Uh,
they probably had to go animated because you can't pass those guys off as kids anymore.
Yeah, but this does lead to an interesting concept though, because I mean, a lot of shows out there that we know they got to wrap up. I mean, Cobra Kai being one of them because those kids are getting older. But it's like, does Cobra Kai do the same thing and go animated? And you could still keep the
Oh,
voice actors, but do you go animated so that way you can then kind of keep the stories going and maybe save a little money and still benefit from the franchise?
that's an interesting concept. I didn't even think about Cobra Kai doing it, but yeah, I guess they could.
I
But a
mean,
lot of those kids are starting to explode out of Cobra Kai too. You got the one's going to be Blue Beetle,
yeah,
and I've heard a couple of the other ones are getting picked up for some other movies. So uh,
it's amazing just to. And what's still crazy to me is that Cobra Kai didn't really have a chance. It was a YouTube Red
yep,
series,
started
and
as
now
YouTube.
look at it.
Yeah, I mean, but if they end Cobra Kai, what are William Zabka and Ralph Macchio going to do now?
We'll see them at next year's Comic-Con.
Yeah, their prices spiked when Cobra Kai got picked up for Netflix.
They were saying that Ralph Macchio wants to continue, possibly do another Karate Kid movie.
Well, he's probably got a house payment to make. So
I mean, at this point, if he still has house payments, like you're bad with money, bro, because you've been pretty successful over these last couple of years with this TV show. So,
well, I was thinking like his fifth or sixth house.
oh yeah, that's right. They probably have more than just us and just the one.
Yeah, mistresses are expensive.
Apparently. By the
Or
way,
so I hear. I don't know.
totally sidebar. I've been watching reruns of an old TV show from back in the day, Entourage.
Oh,
Did not realize. First of all, that show could never be made now.
it's a little
No,
risque.
just a little bit. And two, I completely forgot that Ralph Macchio made an appearance in
Lots of
Entourage.
cameos. Lots of cameos. Bob Saget, Marky Mark, I think was the producer,
Yeah, the
and
show
he's
is
made a
based.
cameo.
The show is loosely based on his life of moving to LA and having his entourage with him. So that when you go back and watch the show, and I'm like, wait, who would have thought? Now look at Ralph Macchio right now is hot, and
Yep.
he was just doing this cameo appearance just to stay relevant. And now it's like, I don't know, man, you're cooking right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how quick that can turn around for you in Hollywood.
Oh, it's crazy, man, and especially for a franchise like that, which was, for all purposes, was dead in the water. Like, it really did not have a chance until it went to Netflix and a massive audience was drawn to it. Matter of fact, someone today walked into the studio wearing a Cobra Kai shirt.
I've got an Eagle Fang shirt in my closet.
That's the one I need to add to my collection, an Eagle Fang
It's
shirt.
amazing.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I don't know, man. But if a lot of these shows go animated, I think it would be a good idea. You can prolong the series. You could still kind of, I don't know. I guess if you're looking to milk the series for what it's worth, then you go animated, and who knows, maybe introduce a whole nother story to Stranger Things.
They could do some well with Cobra Kai. They could do some awesome fight sequences
Oh man,
animated.
in the style of Dragon Ball Z,
Yes,
that would be amazing. So
one of those kicks where they're flying from across the room for like a half a minute.
Oh, my the ones that you wish you could do to somebody that you're like, "Oh, if I could kick you like they do in the animated series." You fly like 16 feet in the air, and then you pause, and then you run and punch them, and then they go to the ground. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't thought about that once, ever. Never thought about doing that to somebody.
I think about it, but then I stand up. Sometimes I throw my back out standing up. So
I was like, I'm getting winded just walking to the door, to tell you the truth.
instead of going animated, Cobra Kai could make a spin-off with Stingray because he had a really good
You're
arc on that
right.
past season.
You're right. So, I mean, and he's everywhere too, man. I mean, it's so funny because now he wins all these awards, and I'm just like, I can't help but look at Stingray.
Sensei Stingray
Oh, but there you go. Sensei Stingray.
open his own dojo.
Hollywood, that one was free for y'all, okay? So do it with what you
That's
must.
all we do is we just churn out ideas, man. That's all we do.
Oh, man. So we are getting closer and closer to Comic-Con, and I see that you're just everywhere right now. I saw you on the news yesterday.
Yep.
So, and it
Yeah,
was for a good thing too. You weren't on a high-speed chase or anything, so
I didn't have my hands weren't in front of me with a coat over my head
no,
being let
he was
out.
being interviewed, everybody. It wasn't one of those, like, if you've seen this guy, he's dangerous.
Yeah, it wasn't out the back door of the courthouse type thing.
Yeah. So here we are, man. Just days away. Y'all
Yeah.
ready?
No.
No,
Never ready.
never ready, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's exciting, man. Anticipation is building up, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every year we try to make it better than the year before, and every year the more and more people are attending. And this year, there's a lot of hype that I've noticed. There's a lot more people excited about it this year than in previous years. So I'm hoping that translates into a success.
Yeah. So, guys, there's still single day tickets, right?
Yeah, there's a handful of VIP tickets left. VIP and weekend are limited. When they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
VIPs are getting close to being gone, so don't hesitate. Single day tickets will always be available, and you can get those all the way up to day of at the event. But if you're thinking about VIP, you might want to jump on there and get one
You better get them now while you can, because otherwise they're gonna be gone. And like Troy said, that's it. They gone. They gone.
until next year.
And then at the store, how are things going at Zia Comics?
Not bad, not bad. We're trying to get the business license for Alamogordo, jumping through all the government hoops. So next week, I think I go in for the final inspection, and hopefully they'll sign off on it, and we'll have our business license, and we just get ready to open in May.
It's getting there, man. So right after you finish a Comic Con, you got to turn around and get ready for Alamogordo.
Yeah, and then you got to get ready for Anime El Paso, and then you got to get
Oh,
ready for Las Cruces, and then it just never stops.
yeah, it's okay. And then we still got to make time to go take dessert from John Carlo tonight. So, oh,
I don't know, Dan. That dude, he's kind of scary.
I'm kind of worried. So maybe
He's
he,
got that quiet, menacing thing to him, and
yeah,
I'm afraid if I did that, I would wake up in the middle of the night. He'd just be standing over my bed.
he's like, so you like
Remember when you took
cheesecake
my
too, huh?
tiramisu?
I like tiramisu, and apparently you do too. So what are we gonna do about it?
I'm taking it
Oh,
back now. Just carve your stomach open.
oh, guys, if they want to keep up with you, how can they reach you on the socials?
We're all over interwebs, man. We got the Facebook, we got the YouTube, we got the Gram, we got the Twitter, and we got the Tiki Taki.
That's right. And if you go to LinkedIn today, you don't have
Oh,
to purchase a badge. So there you go.
what?
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't know
reading that
LinkedIn
today.
was still around.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I saw a headline. I was like, that's the first thing I said. I was like, people still use LinkedIn? Like, okay,
It's
cool.
on my MySpace
That's
and
right.
Napster and
And LimeWire.
Friendster. Wasn't that one?
Oh yeah, that was right. Friendster, MSN Messenger. So yeah, there was I'm trying to think about, there was a ton of them back in the day that no longer exist. If you have no idea what we're talking about, yeah, you're pretty young. So Sorry about that. Guys, of course, you can catch up with me, Big Show FM on Instagram, Joey on the FM on Tiki Taki. Until Tiki Taki goes away, we'll still keep trying to make TikToks. I don't know. It seems like it's not going away, so we might be fine. So, guys, this has been this edition of Zia Comic Weekly. We'll see y'all nerds next week.
Later, nerds.